So Undead Murder Farce is now 3 episodes in, and I'm honestly getting a little mad with this show, and not for the reasons that you normally get upset, like, oh, the quality's bad. No, it's because I think the show is lying to me, because every time I finish an episode of this, we're now 3 episodes in, I refuse to believe it's 20 minutes. I don't believe it. I look at the time bar, I see 22 minutes or 23-minute runtime, but as an example, I was like, I'm gonna start actively trying to check more. I check the time bar, I'm like, 5 minutes maximum. We're already halfway through the episode. And that's how you know you have something quality, when it feels like a show that really isn't action-oriented. Yeah, there was a little bit of action towards the end of the episode, but right now, we're just in a murder mystery, a whodunit. And those can be exciting. They can. There is a lot of classical examples that are basically ripped off even to this current day. But at the end of the day, anime, I think, does make these feel rather dry and boring. But what this show does a remarkable job at is it feels like a theater performance. It feels like we're in the auditorium and we're watching a bunch of characters, a bunch of actors on stage performing to such high degree with their acting chops that we're just immersed. The camera work, how they never just really focus in on a character's face sitting at the dinner table talking about who killed the wife. No, they're spinning it. They're shifting perspective. The color palette goes wild. Sometimes I wonder if I'm in a Junji Ito anime or something. This show is remarkable. It really is. And I was so happy to see last week that people were sharing my opinion that the episodes feel short. I was seeing people say, no way, man. This feels like 5 minutes, and I agree. This show, in a lot of ways, should be slow, should be a dry, slow run into the finish line, but no, this show is remarkable. It's actually one of my personal favorites of the season, and it's a banger, man. Full live reaction episode 3 of Undead Murder Farce, or Undead Girl Murder Farce, is available on my Patreon if you would like to see those full uncut thoughts as I watch today's amazing episode. I mean, I appreciate the fact that we're not just rushing into, like, we're acting like these detectives, right? We have a severed head, Aya, and then we have Sugaru, who is acting kind of like her body, and he's a jokester, he's a prankster, and I really appreciate the fact that we have 2 episodes now focusing on this murder case. Really, I thought maximum this episode would wrap it up, but the fact that we seemingly know who it is, at least from their perspective, I still have no damn idea, and I love that. But it seems like rather than just jumping in every episode or 2 into the next mystery, they're exploring this world at a steady enough pace that we're really starting to wonder where the punchline is going, and they really jebaited me at the end. I was like, oh man, are they going the predictable route? They're making this man who, it's always gonna be the husband, it's always gonna be like, it's either the husband or it's gonna be the butler, right? But I like the fact that everyone has an alibi in some way, so someone's lying, but in the forest, they're making it seem like he's taking them into the forest to kill them. They're passing him, the tension's there, and then someone shoots him in the neck. I was like, all right, Van Helsing's in the crowd here, so what's going on here? And the fact that they bait you in thinking, here's the punchline, and they're like, no, this is a performance piece. This is really where the theater comes out, where you just feel like, okay, they're bowing to the crowd. They're saying, stay tuned for the final act. We're going to change the set piece now. And I love what they're doing. This is a very different style anime. The fact that they even bring up Sherlock Holmes, and the fact that Sherlock Holmes is an actual person in their world, I thought was just a clever thing, because I think a lot of people, especially the first, 5 minutes or so of this episode, I don't know, it's hard to keep track of runtime when I think the whole episode feels like 5 or 10 minutes. But when they're at the dinner table talking, they're talking about the cart driver, right, and how, like, the detail and the stains, and you know, they're picking up on things. You're like, oh, that's very Sherlock Holmes-like. And then they, like, literally call it out. And she kind of makes fun of Sherlock Holmes being a bit of a weirdo. Which, hell, if you're being called a weirdo from a severed head, you know, goddamn, I'd probably get some aloe vera for that burn. That's all I'm saying. But I appreciate how, watching this, I mean, I'm pretty sure at one point I called out everyone in this episode as potentially being the murderer. Hell, the little girl, for as far as I know, could have done it. We don't know. And I really enjoy that the mystery of who done it isn't easy to predict. I really don't think so. You might be able to guess it at this point, but I really feel like the way they've gone about making characters suspicious, but also having alibis, is really interesting. Like, the butler, when he's trying to leave, he's very nervous. He's very skittish. He feels like, okay, he's hiding something, but that's a little too on the nose. And then you start thinking, okay, what about that female maid? Was it jealousy of some sort? We don't know. The son looked rather angry. I mean, that would make it a pretty easy to spot thing. Okay, you're digging too deep. I don't want to be exposed. everyone feels like they could be the murderer. And the fact that we all, at the end of this episode, link it up to basically kind of wanting revenge here because, well, you killed my friend, and okay, but did you know about your friend having a silver spike? He's like, no, it's always been in the sheath, right? It's just, I feel like this show is smartly written. They really understand how to keep the tension there, and where it really feels like a theater performance is how, really, if we break down the last couple of episodes, what have we watched? We watched a man carrying a severed head in a birdcage walk around a mansion and talk to a family about a murder. We didn't really see anything too explosive. It's really just watching that. And that's where it feels like a theater performance. I've seen some people compare it to Ragoku, I think is how you say that, but there was actually an anime like, what, 5 years back or something kind of surrounding it, which is a Japanese performance where like it's like one person telling a story. And at certain moments, it almost feels like the way Ayla controls this story is almost like that type of performance. But there's so many actors at play, and I really feel like this is the type of performance you would experience when going into a theater, sitting in the audience, and watching fantastic actors deliver. And it feels like at times where we're in the same location for 5-8 minutes, and then they cut to a new location. It's like the set pieces now change, and we're still just watching these incredible actors take something that it's a make it or break it. If the actors, in this case, the voice actors, and also the production style, if it can capture you in, this will be anything other than boring. But we've seen it time and time again, especially in the anime medium, where these types of performances can be boring, and I'm impressed. I'm upset because I feel like I'm going insane because you're telling me these are 23-minute episodes and like it's 5 to 8 minutes maximum. It really feels that way. And while I definitely feel that a lot with action anime because you just get sucked in, there's so much craziness happening on screen. It's like, damn, 20 minutes flew by. A show all about talking is sucking me in. I'm loving the world. I love the idea that monsters and all these story beats that we've seen in different stories throughout our own world are just all combined into one, as we have a weird detective story where a man, an Oni, half man, is acting as the body and personality in a way of the severed head who's wanting her own body back. It is a wild time and I'm loving it. If you watched my What Will I Watch video prior to this new season dropping, there's 2 shows I was crossing my fingers would do well. That was Dark Gathering and Undead Murder Farce. Dark Gathering, spooky ghost time story. I mean, don't get a lot that are good. If that could succeed, awesome. And it absolutely did. Undead Murder Farce seemed like a different type of monster series, and if they could nail that as well, this would be a really unique series and season for those 2 series alone. And I'm so happy that they both delivered for me personally, but thoughts and feelings, and I especially want to know, how long do these episodes feel for you? Because they honestly, no joke, feel like 5 to 8 minutes maximum for me, and I gotta know, am I the only one feeling it? Because I saw some people last week, you know, bringing it up, so I don't think I'm alone, but I want to see, like, the majority of the people watching these videos, how long do these episodes actually feel for you? Because I legit think they're short as hell. Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel, and like I mentioned, full live reaction to today's wonderful episode is available on my Patreon if you're interested, and while there you also get a video shout out. So today we have Thrilled Axis 709, Fanny DuPont Haunt, Dawn, and Little Big Trouble. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.